Hi, thank you so much for coming. My name is Xiao. I would love to show you a few demonstrations of this piece, but first I'm going to play through it once. And since this piece, there are so many sections, and each section is demonstration of different bowing technique, and that's why I thought it's worth mentioning on the second half of the video. The beginning section, if you have the music in front of you, would be most helpful. The beginning 5 lines, and then the end also have about 5 or 6 lines. They're approximately the same note, same ideas. And this I suggest that we use full bow on every note. half note or quarter note. Make them the same length of bow. That way your bow will be really broad and your sound will shine really, really brightly. And take care that each bow change, your fingers must give a little bit, must have this kind of movement. So it's always in interchange of the finger actions to connect the down bow and up bows. The second section, take care that these eighth notes has no dots on them. So it's not so staccato, but simply a little bit spacing between the notes. That means the wrist still, the fingers also has some sort of movement. Very little, but you feel it. And the next part, where the eighth note is starting to have staccato dots on them, and this is the time that you feel like your fingers pinch a little bit, and that gives you a nice, small, sharp edge to the sound. Take good care not to pinch and squeeze hard of your thumb. Because this, if you lock up the thumb, all of the elbow and the shoulder will become very tense, and this sound will not sound bouncy. So the thumb has to release as the same as the bowing. The next section, you have triplet string crossing. It's all about your right hand. So first practice open strings, D, A, E, E, A, D. Let your wrist go down as you go down bow, up a little bit as you go up bow. And just travel in the even kind of time and curve towards regarding to the strings. Don't calculate, don't measure, and don't aim for each string. If you are conscious of which string you are playing, then it will sound something very not smooth. Don't worry about the string crossings, which string you will touch. Just go nice curvy line going down, curvy line going up, and listen to the evenness of the sound of each string. Then you will have very even string crossing. If you go, you can tell it's not even. So that means we're lingering on the first note a little too long, therefore you come down sooner and you go up sooner. So become. Now we do too much and we even it out. Use your ears and connect with the movement, cooperate with the movement, and then you have very smooth string crossing. And that goes for all 4 string crossings as well, if you ever encounter one of those pieces. The next section, you have a left hand, little bit of small left hand pizzicato. With your left hand, left finger, normally we place our fingers in somewhat flatter position. But because we have to pluck the string, come up a little bit so that we have a little bit of anticipation of plucking the string. So therefore, when you play, so each time you just roll up a little bit, or you just stay up this way. So your third finger, if I can put my pinky down, normally it's not a good practice, of course, but this is just to show you. Third finger, when you place it this way. So you are a lot more vertical. Not in the normal position. That's a little bit harder. And this sound will sound cleaner and less fuzzy in the sound. So more focused, more concentrated in terms of the E. Now, in terms of the bow, it's very simple. Think simpler. Your bow is simply going down, up, down, up, down, up. So there is nothing complicated on the right hand. Pom, 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 pom. Do that a few times just to tell the right hand what it's supposed to do. It's not connected to the left hand at all. The next passage is 16th notes. Stay in the same part of the bow that you just played. Stay here. Very short bow, but lots of movement on your wrist and on your fingers. So you can see that it's moving. And then towards the end, you have a bunch of 16th notes that are into 4 measures. And that is, you can use shorter bow in the beginning, but denser bow. What that means is that your sound point does not go when it's shorter bow, but your sound point stays in about middle, in about where the strong sound is supposed to sound. But you use very little bow, so now the sound becomes a lot more dense, a lot more strength within the notes. Not, but you can feel there's a little bit of bite to it. From this part on, lengthen the bow as you go. Then you have a very big crescendo. Like that. And then, of course, the second half of the piece is very much repeated to the beginning. The very last measure of the bow, it's very long, but an upper octave E. This note, find it first. Drop your hand, find this E for about a couple dozen times until you're comfortable and confident knowing where that is. And then when you're approaching from this note, you go for that feeling of your left hand, that position. Then it will guarantee that E will sound very bright. The more importantly is the transition, how you shift up to that note. It's very important that note before you shift, you are physically aware of that you are to move to that position. So the last note, this one, you are already feel like going, but you just don't move the fingertip. And on the right hand, as soon as you hit the top E, don't move the bow. Feel like if you are a driver, Then you step on the brake and you sustain this note, sustain this bow as long as you can, and let it fade out. I will see you next time.